All right, better late than never, right? So it's early Sunday morning now, but I'm at WFAN, one of the, I don't even know what they call these rooms, but the point is, I couldn't record right after the game. I was coming here to work, and then I was working for the last few hours. So better late than ever. It's about 6 a.m. on Sunday morning, and we're going to talk a little bit about yesterday's Knicks game. Just wanted to get this in here. I said I was going to do one for every day, so this will count as Saturday night's recap, and then obviously later today we'll talk about the Rangers. Maybe we'll preview Knicks game too. A whole bunch of stuff to get to, and then we're going to be taking some days off next week because Passover and a whole bunch of different stuff going on. So there's a lot to get to, but let's talk about the Knicks right away and right off the bat. They take game one, a huge win. But what I noticed, and I tweeted this out, the Knicks almost stole game one. The Knicks, while they're favored at home in game one going into the game, this is a game that you don't win often. This is a game that your best player, and I talked about this on Friday morning on the fan, much to the chagrin of Greg Giannotti. Gio thought I talked too much on the show on Friday morning, but whatever, that's his problem, not mine. I'm playing. But on Friday morning, we were talking about Chris McMonagle said the one thing, with Jalen Brunson is he has to be on every single game. With no Julius Randle, you can't have an off night from Jalen Brunson and win. And the fact is, Jalen Brunson had a terrible night and the Knicks won. That to me is such a positive. And it was everyone around Jalen who stepped up, whether it was Duce McBride, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Mitchell Robinson. Those were the three guys who came off the bench. The Knicks bench dominated the Phillies bench, and they were the difference in the game. Joel Embiid was a plus 15 in the game, and the Sixers lost. Joel Embiid obviously goes out for that stretch, and if he doesn't go out for that stretch to end the second quarter, I don't know what happens. But the Knicks offense couldn't get anything going, and then Bogdanovic comes in and starts hitting shots, and obviously Duce McBride comes in and starts hitting shots. Those two guys saved the day, and then at the end of the game, Duce McBride was still in the game. He stayed in, and credit Tom Thibodeau for going with the hot hand late in the game, because late in the game, he didn't bring DiVincenzo back in. DiVincenzo was struggling. He stayed with Duce McBride. That's the right decision if you're Tom Thibodeau. And I've talked about Tom Thibodeau's adjustment as the head coach, that he'll stay with the hot hand much longer than he has in the past. And he did it again, and he proved it again. And he's proved that he's a different head coach than maybe he was in the past. And trusting a young guy like Duce McBride, who doesn't have a ton of experience, definitely not a ton of playoff experience, and playing him and getting the most out of him in that game like you did in game one, that just tells you everything you needed to know about Tom Thibodeau. Going with Mitchell Robinson because that was the better matchup. And as far as Embiid, once he came back, he wasn't the same. Like, he was settling from the outside. If this is the Joel Embiid you get the rest of the series, I'm sorry, Sixers fans. It's going to be a long series for you guys. Or actually, I should say it's going to be a quick series, but it's going to be a tough series because the New York Knicks are not losing to a Sixer team if Joel Embiid is not willing to take it to the hole. How many times were the Knicks getting easy rebounds? It's appropriate the game ends on a Josh Hart rebound, on an offensive rebound where he just snuck around Joel Embiid and grabbed it because Embiid wasn't willing to, he was scared. So maybe it's just about his confidence and getting his confidence up. And maybe he'll put a little bit more effort in if the season's on the line more and this is just game one. But I don't think he's going to get more healthy as the series goes on. I just don't see, that's just not how it works. I talked about that earlier. And he's already, health is playing a big factor. And guess what? I'm not going to be one of those people and sits here and says, oh, well, they weren't healthy. If they were healthy, they probably would have beaten the Knicks. Not a real, no, I'll take it. I'll take it any way we can get as Knicks fans. I haven't won a lot of these in my lifetime, a ton of playoff series. I don't think Dante DiVincenzo is going to be as bad as he was in game one. I don't think Jalen Brunson is going to be as bad as he was in game one. It's just not going to happen. Jalen Brunson will find a way. I don't care how good Philadelphia's defense is. That's what he's done all year. And the Knicks will find a way, whether he's doing great or not. And that's what people are going to find out about this team. This is quite literally the definition TEAM, team. And the big threes late, whether it was OG with the three, and he hits it, bang, from Mike Breen. I was watching it on ESPN, and I don't know, you go back and forth. I was watching it on ESPN because I wanted to hear Breen call a Knick game at Madison Square Garden. As much as I love Gus and Clyde, to me, ESPN was the way to go because you wanted to hear Breen call the game. But, I mean, the whole thing was just incredible from start to finish. And none of the Knicks starters were in plus of a plus minus. None of them. And the Knicks won the game. Duce McBride with a career high, and I think a record-setting Knicks record, plus 37 off the bench in the playoff game. 21 points. He hits the 5 threes. A ridiculous game from Duce McBride. Lockdown defense on Maxey, and Maxey was really good in this game. But the way McBride's fighting over screens, and Embiid's points would have been even lower, by the way, if he doesn't get a couple ticky-tack foul calls. That he goes to the free throw line. That was all he had in the second half. He was settling for jumpers, didn't want to go inside. And the Knicks in a game where even Isaiah Hartenstein sucked. Some key contributors from this team were not close to where you expect them to be. At the head of them, Jalen Brunson. And the Knicks found a way to win. They out-rebounded the Sixers. They were tougher than the Sixers. And those threes by Josh Hart at the end, I mean, they're those no, yes threes. Like, please, like, oh my, no, don't shoot that. Oh, okay, fine, it went in. Those are some incredible threes, but that's what Josh Hart does. That's what he did in the series last year against Cleveland. He's the heart of the team. He's the fire. He's the soul. He grabs all those rebounds. He's going to make you pull your hair out sometimes. He makes 15 hustle plays and hits 3 big threes in the fourth quarter that ultimately win the Knicks the game. And I don't know what the Sixers were doing, forgetting to foul with 30 seconds left. I mean, what are you doing? And this is what I said. I trust that Nick Nurse is not the best head coach of the series. It's actually Tom Thibodeau. As good of a head coach as Nick Nurse is, as opposed to if we had to play Miami, then Tom Thibodeau wouldn't be the best head coach in the series. It would be Eric Spoelstra. But game one, what gives me the most confidence about this series as a whole is that this was an ugly game. This is a game the Knicks shouldn't have won. Every starter in a minus. Jalen Brunson doesn't show up. And Jalen Brunson doesn't show up. Still finds a way to get his points. And Doris Burke made a great point on the ESPN broadcast. I mean, everyone knew when Mitchell Robinson comes to set that screen, Brunson loves rejecting the screen, going the other way and hitting the mid-range jumper. And the fact that Maxey steps into, and a great job by Mitchell Robinson to make Maxey feel him so that he can, make Maxey feel him so that then he can go the other way. So Maxey's starting to lean towards Mitchell Robinson, towards the screen. So great job by Mitchell Robinson to make him feel that screen, but Brunson was always going to reject that screen. That's what he does, and he gets that big pull-up jumper. Look, it was a tough game one. I don't expect Brunson to have another bad game like that. I don't know if you start as good as Mitchell Robinson was. Maybe you stick with Isaiah Hartenstein in the starting rotation for game two. It's going to be interesting, but I trust Tom Thibodeau. I trust this team, and I trust that those guys will play better. Hartenstein's going to play better. DiVincenzo's going to play better. Jalen Brunson's going to play better. So if there's negative to look at this, it's, look, Tyrese Maxey and Embiid went off. They didn't get get any contribution from, guys outside of that, really. Buddy Hield maybe can start hitting some shots. Oubre can hit some shots. I hate Kyle Lowry. Everyone knows that. But you got to feel pretty good about where the Knicks are. The fact that they're up 1-0 and not down 1-0 in a game that they struggled. And as bad as Joel Embiid looks health-wise, I'm feeling pretty good about the Knicks. I still think Knicks in 6. This is not an easy series. It's a tough series, clearly. I think it goes 6. But I feel pretty good about the Knicks. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking. All those things are greatly appreciated. Until next time, I'll see you guys all soon. Yeah, that's it. Peace. Happy Sunday. Let's go Rangers. Look out, actually. Rangers. I'm going to have a Rangers preview show at 2:15 on TikTok. Tune in to my TikTok at the Romulus V podcast on TikTok. And yeah, that's all we got. We're going to have pre and post game for the Rangers game 1 today at 3 p.m. at the Garden. So check that out. Till then, see ya.